into the pleasure, and then you're not as spiritual as you thought you were. Too many people, I should say most people, compare pleasure and good feelings to spiritual, loving, compassionate beings. How could you feel good? Now let's dive into this. I'm tired of people saying it or believing it and talking about it. First off, let me do this. Tear down the idea of a speaker. Most speakers, 99% of them, have this mindset that they're going to make you believe and accept. And most people do. The names of the people, the greatest speakers out there, all of them. I'll say the top 4 or 3, whatever. The Dalai Lama, the Pope. Then we have Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, and those other speakers that are more into New Age, being everything you can, making the most money you can, and all those kind of things. Well, it's time to let go of that. Money will never get the human race to move forward. Look at what Trump's doing to the world. It's all going to crash. Everything's going to crash. Our environment, our weather, our lifestyle, the way we eat, it's all going to crash. Why? Because of money. Now, countries need money, want money. But you know, the United States is more the desire of like having money in the bank. All the rich people, I would say, what would you say? 99% of their money's in the bank. Maybe 25, 50% of their money's invested. How much money is in their hand? How much money do they spend? Well, it's like a hoarder. Let's just keep stocking up. And more people with lots of money only look for ways to make more money. Look at the Shark Tank, which is exactly what it's called, the Shark Tank. Why? They got money. Do they need more money? No, they want to help people make money, but they want to make more money themselves. They don't invest in a person because they're helping that person. They're investing in that person because that person's going to make them money. Big separation from being spiritual and being an egotistical mind. People don't see it. I mean, it's hard to get out of that environment when 90% of the planet is into this money thing. The people that are out there are working and things. Because 90% of the planet is starving, homeless, don't have their next meal coming and stuff like that. So, right now, without all the things that happen, California has like 9,000 homeless vets, 12,000 homeless people, no jobs, no homes. All right? Now, let's take a place like the Philippines or these other countries that are having these giant earthquakes and giant disasters right now. You know how many millions of people are starving, homeless because of that within the past month? Relocated, have no place to go, and it could happen to Hawaii. We're going to be having a lot of people evacuated if the lava got any worse than what it was doing. Luckily, it stopped. Anybody that's asking, it stopped about 7 days ago, roughly a week almost already, which is a good thing for certain things. So, as a group of consciousness, and we talk about what we can have, soul doesn't need anything. First downfall for anything you say to yourself. Does it need friends? Does it need a relationship? Does it need family? Does it need a pet? Does it need to stay here? All those questions are programmed by the mind. But since it's not aware of who and what it really is yet, it has to go through the battling between all that to find the truth. How do you do that? Meditation. The right kind of meditation. Prayer? No. You can pray if you want to. I call it talking to God, but you have to realize God doesn't have to listen to you either. And God's definitely not going to give what you ask for. Because things happen doesn't mean God gave them to you either. If somebody's sick, there's a chance that they'll get better, and there's a chance that they'll die. Because they got better, God said so. Or if they died, well, God didn't listen. See, you can't compare things like that to what you want to put on God. We put so many things on God. We don't look at or take responsibility for all the things we're creating while this is all going on. So this person that's not in a religion walks around, well, I can beat that person up because he's a bad person. Or I can beat that person up because I want to. I could try to marry this girl if she lets him. So it's a game for them. A game of life. It's just like playing a board game. It ends. You go around, the game ends. What do you have after you play the game of life? Nothing. All you can say is, I either won or I lost the game. And when you win a board game, it doesn't help you any further than walking away from the board game. In life, it's not much different. Get a house, get a car, have a family, have kids, and you come home and you decide to shoot them all. Like this horrible story with this, I don't even get into it, but we need to go beyond that. We got to rise above it. We got to think, what can help people rise above that? Well, keeping a majority of people in poverty is not the answer. Allowing drugs, the wrong kind of drugs, to be pushed on people is wrong. But worse than drugs, the worst drug on the planet is not heroin, not ice, and not crack, not opium. It starts with a 4-letter word, B-E-E-R. Then it goes to wine. Then it goes to hardcore alcohol. All legal. There's a downfall there. And why is it legal? Only because it makes money. Now, I got into some little teeny bit last week, but the cigarette business was finally taken off the TV, and it's not allowed to have their commercials on TV anymore. Why? Because the industry is dying because too many people are aware of the dangers of what it does, and they have to say that now. Just drink and say you can go out and kill somebody today. I mean, when you pick up a medicine, well, this could give you cancer, this could give you a heart attack, this could give you a stroke, this could cause blood clot, it could cause your blood to clog, it goes on about 100 different things. And people still take it, right? Why is that? And then the medicine, pain medicine, kills people. Well, something people don't understand, especially without pain. When you're in that kind of pain, real pain, you don't want to live no more. You don't want to do anything. You can't. I know what it's all about. I know people around me. It's horrible. So now realize, when you don't eat for a couple of days and you eat very little, how do you feel? Happy? Joyful? So we each pick the shovel we're going to use to dig our hole in. You can dig it as deep as you want or as shallow as you want, but you're going to still fall in that hole when you leave. So, are you going to spend your life digging a hole? Some people do. Well, I don't have to worry. I'm not going anywhere anyway. Well, you're going in a hole that you dug. I'm hardcore. I'm real. I don't tell you stories. I don't fantasize. I don't make you believe things that aren't really going to help you. If I tell you a dragon's real, it's real, but it's still not going to help you. If I tell you the little people are real, is that going to help you? There's all these things that we can talk about. I started going into them. Will they help you? What things can help you move forward? What I suggest and say is the most important thing is your guides. Because they're going to be the ones that help you explore the next reality that you're going to go into. Remote viewing. Astral projection is the wrong word for what people do. If you're doing astral projection, means you're projecting into the astral world. And it should be more refined to the physical world because most people cannot project themselves into the astral world. And if they do, they could become a little more aware of what they are as soul. But again, without guidance. Soul learns eventually, but not right away. Not in one lifetime, not in 100. And then when it does, then it can leave. I mean, a bird has to grow, a baby bird, a chick has to grow its wings before it can jump out of the nest. When the chicks jump out of the nest when they're little, they die. They get smacked on the ground. So when you try to fly without your wings or your feathers, you're not going to get nowhere, and it's not beneficial to you to do it. So saying I'm going to go to the astral plane is useless. If you don't know what soul is, if you don't have guides around you, what are you going to do? Stare at things? Do you know what you can do, what you can't do? Every body, meaning the bodies that we take, the physical body, astral body, mind body, soul body, etheric body, all the words we give it, have laws and rules and regulations. If you're a light beam, do you think you have to wear a pair of pants and a shirt? If you're a light beam, do you think you have to eat a potato and a steak? The rules change. Do you think you have to go to the bathroom? I want to get you a little bit frustrated, but for me, the human body is disgusting. I mean, the way it looks, a female body is beautiful in my viewpoint. In all the animal kingdom, it's the opposite. All the male bodies are beautiful and the female is not. I mean, a fish, a bird, they have no color. The lions have no mane. Peacocks don't. The females are just bigger and no beautiful feathers. All the things are different. But in man's reality, and most men will say women are more beautiful unless they're a weightlifter and into their body. And then they think that they're more prettier than anybody. So, but that kind of sounds weird. But I'll say this. The body's disgusting. What it does, soul eliminates that when it leaves this body. So that's just that alone makes it more purified entity, reality, creature, whatever, however you perceive things that you're not aware of yet. But the body, the astral body, we'll use that word for now, isn't the same. It doesn't have this food stored up in its belly and things like that. When you eat, you're not really eating anything. You can feel and taste and you're going through the motions, but it's not solid. This is the most solid place, solid within its vibration. We're learning all about that. Well, you can play with that, but that's only real in the astral and the physical world. Science will never, ever get beyond that. Playing with protons, neutrons, and electrons only work in the physical and astral plane. It doesn't go into the mental plane, doesn't go into the astral, the etheric plane, fourth plane, and it sure doesn't go into the fifth plane. Now, if each soul, but see, now here's where science tries to mix it together. If each soul was aware of itself, would it need any other souls? Would it have to be part of all the other souls? In this system, they are kind of relating to each other. I mean, we each affect each other, what we create and what we do. But soul doesn't have to do that, and it doesn't. But when it's in the body, the mind tells it what it has to do. Sorry, I didn't do one thing. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Well, all right. Here's where we're going to go. We're talking about these people with no awareness of spirit, soul, death. Let's move into the religious one. You're born, your mother's Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Jehovah, whatever. And obviously they're going to raise you what they believe in.